morning, you guys. How are you? It's MJ from IUNPLUG. It's April 5th. It's a new moon. It's my birthday and I'm on my period, so... Was that too much information? I'm not sure. It feels like really special times. It's been kind of a deep and intense year so far. 2019 has certainly cleared away and washed away any lifelong suffering patterns that a lot of us in this community have been voluntarily carrying for most of our lives. So we're finally shedding some of the shackles of imprisonment and enslavement energy, divide and conquer energy, which is a similar and opposing spectrum energy forces to that which is our enslavement and disempowerment. So as a collective, we really are rising, hence these live shares of the intuitive knowing. So in my understanding, our intuition as individuals is really what we would call the Holy Spirit, or our access to infinite intelligence. So it's like our intuition are like those subtle nudgings energetically that are in response to universal energies, which means we are connected to the totality. We've just been blinded to that fact. We've lived under veils of separation and or birthed veils of separations via a conflicted wound from within our own field. All of this stuff is stuff that we ultimately do have to like work out from within ourselves and endeavor to live it, right? Endeavor to be the truth of it. But that is only something we can do for ourselves, which is why I continue to empower, especially empaths, because empaths can very easily get into slightly emotionally abusive situations because people can lie. People can lie about what they feel, what they're really thinking, right? And so increasingly, with greater awareness around the collective, with a rise of empathy, with a rise of intuitive and intuitive connection, intuitive awareness in connection to our rational intellectual capacity. So we have to merge those two together, and ultimately we have to understand that the world that we've been programmed to buy into is based on a false logic, which means that that world, that capitalist, economic, progressive, you know, let's get ahead, let's move ahead, achieve, that whole world is actually based on an illusion of our separation. Hence why it's increasingly over these ages and these cycles become, with these apparent layers, more and more distorted, because our humanity has become more and more disconnected from its source, which is just the heart. And yet I had a recollection many weeks ago, no, just like probably a few days ago. I can remember when I was just starting out on the yoga journey 10 years ago, professionally, you know, people in these spiritual communities would talk about, like, you've got to listen to your heart. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what? Like, I'm practicing and blown, like, but when we're really much more conditioned to those enslavement stressy patterns, I would say we just sometimes need certain dynamics and certain experiences to hit up against us a few times until we finally activate the heart. And this is something as well in this awakening community, which is why so many of us people pleasers or empaths have been quite forcefully shoved into that one the narcissist and empath codependency, for us to see it more clearly, and or just brutal, like, heartbreaky situations. So like, yeah, just like, and then through that, it's like a gateway, it's like a portal that activates us energetically and helps us to unify, because all of this event horizon, new paradigm, new earth, it's all to do with the 0 point critical mass vibrational alignment field that we thanks Chiquiki Libre, that projects into, in an instant, projects these new earth manifestations. And it is a kind of point because there's no time fixed. Because in the 0 point and in the new earth energy paradigm, time as a linear construct is dissolved. It's no longer, we're no longer bound by it. Thus, we are no longer bound by the life-death cycle of the reincarnation grid. Basically, the veiled re-entering into the earth realm. That's to do with what people call the demiurge and the archon grids, because they blind us to our own power, and whether it's the light or the dark, they blind us to our truth, and so we keep either going to the light, going to the dark, and then looping back unconsciously, hence these layers of forgetfulness that we're like peeling back and peeling back. But the more of us that do it, and then the more of us that are free from it. I know, and increasingly in this community, some of my tightest friends as well, there's just no, like, it's like, when you start riding your own authentic energy flow, you don't really want to go back. Plus, you have enough anchored awareness from within the field that, like, you know that going back into that construct is just a disservice to self and the totality. It's like breaking free from a box, being like, oh yeah, this feels fucking great, and like giving yourself an awesome stretch and being like, oh, okay, and then like volunteeringly getting back into the box for another 2,000 years, being like, okay, we're gonna be just fine like this. Yeah. No, we're not going back to the box for at least probably like another 26,000 years or something like that. Like, but then that would be the infinity loop, where it just is the infinity cycle, is the infinity generation station. There's like these totally parallel infinite timeline realities. It's just, I think our human brain from the dark ages, there's a lot of leaps that have to make in the quanti from within the brainwave function via the mind. And yet there have to be certain activations that happen for us to be able to open these gateways in our mind and then download them and then have the awareness and the practice to be able to like anchor them in effectively. Which is why a lot of us joke about the kind of push-pull of community and or distortion. And especially now these days with the rabbit holes, be really kind of mindful of getting in them. I'm really aware of them, and I swear to God, I just listen to the odd bit of tarot for entertainment. I'm aware of that as well. Like the tarot will just reflect back like wherever we're at. It changes from day to day, like straight up. So so yeah, I can't wait to have the activation to earn money in the fifth dimension. Hi, Amit. How are you? Hi, Lakshmi. All of your love. So grateful you are here, and we're going. Interesting. Yeah, sentient mama are so grateful to be on our sentient. I know. And it really is the earth. It really is like the earth energy. What did you just say, Cheek? I can't wait to have. Yeah, and I'll continue to share with you guys around the banking system. There's an increasing awareness of fluidity, and I feel like we've reached the bottom of the pit. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying, but yeah, I feel like we've reached the bottom of the financial pit, and so there's only there's like these little bits of building blocks that we kind of want to shape shift around. And then a lot of the rooted dark stuff is kind of being uprooted and so you guys know that I have so I journal, like take notes and all that kind of stuff, and I've had this little kitty journal, and it's another thing that's quite representative of completion cycles, right? So the book, the journal that I basically wrote all the courses in, and that I've been using to make my YouTube notes for like probably the last year at least. Like it was probably like one of my besties who gave me the journal. In fact, it was probably the same girl who gave me this journal as well. So one of my besties, yeah, who hooks up, or wait, no, actually this would have been my dear friend. Anywho, my friends know me well, and so a journal is always a useful gift. So basically my little kitty journal ran out, and so on this new moon day, on my birthday, I'm also starting a new journal. And like, look at how awesome my friends are. Like, look at what it is, stardust and magical things. I'm like, of course you know me so well. Plus, thank you. Plus, it's just like really pretty. So I'm looking forward to christening my journal with my beautiful intentions. Although I gotta say, you know, that's just the way and then this is from one of you guys. This is from Rochelle. She sent me a little package with like some crystals and some lovely little like candle things. And then I remember I was holding this in my hand during the live share, like shortly after I received it. And I remember one of you guys like joking around being like, what is that in her hand? Because it looked like a dildo. So no, you guys. This is a unicorn pen. God, how could you not know that? Jeez. Okay, so there's the journal, christening a new journal on this new date. Like, I straight up feel like it's like a brand new year or like just a new life. In the last 24 hours, I swear to God, there's been some DNA shifting where I'm suddenly like totally free from a whole bunch of shit that I used to carry. Alright, so I said to you guys yesterday, is it in the title that the title... Hi Pepe. Hi Pepe, how are you? Thank you so much. You guys, I really only gone live for you guys to wish me happy birthday. Like, because then after this, I'm gonna launch the course, right? Truth kind of chic équilibre. He's French Canadian. He comes from Quebec, you know. It's my country. That's why I can speak in the French. I joke. I just. Oh, brilliant, Mike. I know. You guys have been quite forthcoming in letting me know that the yoga sesh was like nice for you guys. So like I'm pleased because I got nudged like 2 or 3 times. Like that would be a nice live share to just like do a bit of moves with you guys, right? Because it's basically what I've been doing for a living in this world for the last like 10 years. So, and that was guided too. And that's something that's been coming through the messaging, was like acknowledging that the manifestation path is like folding. It like circles and folds. And I have to acknowledge that I've been on the manifestation path really since my awakenings, but the clarity with which I'm directing consciousness has become ever more clear. Hence, like, sharing and communicating this stuff in my own authentic way, because that wouldn't have been the case. Okay, so yesterday, because Chic Équilibre was like, because for some reason I was talking about, like, my apartment. Thank you, John! You guys, John's actually sent me a little, like, birthday song. I haven't listened to it, but I'm gonna listen to it today and then probably share it on the channel, just for, like, you know. But thank you so much, John. I'm so excited. Like, how dorky am I? I'm, like, saving. My dad sent me a little card. Like, things have come through, but I, like, actually try to save stuff just for my birthday to be like, I'm so special. And then I'm trying to think, wait, did I have a sneaky listen? I'm not sure. Okay. So yesterday when Chic was like, hey, because I told them about my loft space up here, and basically my loft space is also where like I do my more sacred rituals, because there's like some windows up here. I'm on the top space. Obviously, like, there's lights, and then behind there's just like a spare bedroom or like, that's actually a blow up mattress, because we've got a pretty tight little squeeze up the little stairwell up here. So there's only so much that fits up tiny stairwells. Any of you guys who live in Europe will know what I'm talking about when you get into some of these more higgledy-piggledy kind of, like, maybe they're listed buildings, I'm not sure, but basically, like, the older the architecture, sometimes you get some really interesting little spaces. Thank you. And then, actually, you can't really see it, but, like, this is, like, my yoga mat. My yoga mat is there. It's an A-frame ceiling, so, like, I'll have to be mindful. My kitchen is actually, like, a better space downstairs where I do my yoga as well. Plus, I've got my, like, boombox down there. Sure, except I could do Truth Kindness. Can you send a link? Can you send it to me via the, because my friend, I'm on my phone, and because I won't be able to, like, go off and then check. Plus, I don't actually have Twitter. So I know you have 8 frei, 8 frei. I know, but I don't have it on my phone. Do you want to type it? Do you want to type what you wrote on Twitter? And everybody here right now, check out, no, yes, I do have Twitter, but not the app on my phone. You know these days we can link apps? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Truth Kindness. I appreciate you linking that in. And I'm excited to see what you've written. So yeah, I like literally maybe once or twice a year I actually go on to the Twitter app. Mostly I just like link, it's my Instagram, I believe. So Instagram can basically share on Facebook and Instagram or Twitter. So I'm not on Twitter. I have a Twitter account, but like I only like share stuff via the Instagram, not the Twitter. So you guys, now that we've talked a whole bunch of shit, let's crack on with our new moon rituals. So, and like straight up, you guys, like this is legit. Like 8 years ago, so whenever I was like getting more serious about transformation and not hanging on to all my the icky sticky patterns which you get to different points in your life and you just almost think like I'm just never going to get over this, like why bother trying, right? So but then like 8 years ago, 2011, 2010 was big turning points, right? And then 2012 more turning points as far as like it's my life, I'm gonna own it kind of thing. And then increasingly since 2012 just like deeper shifts and awarenesses which then helped me understand alchemy, helped me understand sexual energy and manifestation, and then increasingly over the years basically just to embody it, because it's the embodiment that is a big leap from just the intellectualization of these practices, which I'm aware, as I'm sure many of us are, that is often where we sit. We, as a collective, because we're quite mental, we can, in our communities and in our circles, get into kind of shitty habits of just talking about stuff all the time, but not really doing the interfacing emotional work of owning and transforming our our whatever we're bringing into consciousness, right? Because everything, ultimately, everything we see around us is our manifestation, is a reflection. And then I had another piece with regards to ending duality, because even the projection of the unconscious, the idea that our mind is split into the unconscious and the conscious, is also another potential destruction of conflict, right? Because in truth, every single moment, every single present moment that you have is how you heal, is how you work. It's only when we're in complete denial. In fact, it would really only be the aspect of denial which creates unconsciousness. But you're not unconscious, you're in denial of it. And so it'll keep bumping up against, oh, that's the subconscious. No, that's just the shit you're not choosing to be present with and to look at and to face and to feel. As when we get in this flow, I swear to God, you guys, like these last 3 years, there's very few patterns, and I'm further and further and further away from the pattern. I can increasingly, when I'm engaging, be aware of even a potential pattern that I'm moving into, right? So yeah, you either deny and loop incessantly, i.e. reincarnation grid, i.e. the demiurge and the archon, because if we just keep going, I'm not responsible, of course someone else can be responsible, right? That's what a lot of us as empaths are learning as well. It's that, like, it's not like to like hate on other people. It's just like taking up the facts and not living in some naivety of like love and light, everyone's love and light. No, we're all anchored humans. We all have various levels of hidden distortion, which we can either perpetuate and act out or address and be self-responsible. The more self-responsible the one becomes, the less that one can vibrate with non-responsible beings, because you just sniff out the lies and the bullshit really quickly. You can even feel it. That's what is miraculous to me about the internet. The internet is really, I would say, the birthing of the neos, the matrix elevators, the matrix breaker-uppers, right? It's that those of us accessing and using internet to kind of almost like shine light into areas of it, it really is via that consciousness that our intuition can help to root it out and not have these beings in our actual field of energy, right? So with the internet, we can like be doing this sort of interfacing, you know, that we can all feel each other, right? This is part of the gravitational pull. That's part of why we all resonate here, is that there's a resonance, there's a vibrational alignment resonance. Yeah. Hi, Scott. Hi. And so, yes, and the more self-responsible we become, the more discernment is a section in the book as well. Discernment and discipline and diligence. So discernment is an increasing awareness that helps us become more and more clear with regard to what energy resonances and or dissonance that we're picking up on. So that somebody might send us a message and the intuition could tell us right away whether or not that this was going to be an appropriate you know, longevity or abundant or whatever, versus a lesson versus and ultimately the intuition will like burr, 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 when it's like a no-go. And that's even recently happened, hence this title of individual what's it called, individuation through compassion, or like something like the individuality of compassion. So what we're going to really see is like more and more of us wanting to know, like, this is me. This is who I am. This is who I want to be. This is my desire. I want more love. I want more peace. I want more compassion, right? And yet, none of love, compassion, what was the other word I used? Peace. Those are uncompromising. Those are all containing. So we can't, as like, well, that's all right for something. No. Peace is a deep dwelling place within us, right? And yet, if we're all beating each other up, if we're not connected, we are not in individuality. We are in hive mind, group pack consciousness, which weirdly is the divide and conquer consciousness. It's only through rising into our own sovereignty that we can hold space for compassion, because it's self-compassion and self-love which heals us into our sovereignty, not the other. So these are subtle, subtle, subtle games, right? Hi, Eddie. How are you? Peace, love, and happiness. So that's a little bit of the journey, and this is my current setup. Anywhere that I go, I'll have a few little, like, even when I'm traveling, I will like to bring like some props and stuff with me, because it's nice to have like the chance or opportunity anywhere you are in the world to do little rituals if you feel the need. So I'm gonna be a little bit intimate with you guys and share like and this has changed over the years, obviously. Nice. So yeah, this is my altar. It has changed over the years because I've moved house a lot. But I remember at one point I was really serious about it. It was, hi, Quirky Cosmo. It was like a lot more like I had my vision board and I had like this holy water stuff. Actually, I still have my holy water. And that's really for like other things. I've got another one of my argonite thingies up. So I've got like one of these. I have 6 in total. Basically have them just like scattered around my apartment. And then you'll see like, I'm just giving you an example. None of this is right or wrong. If you go around and search other like spiritual girls channels, you'll find we all have these sort of like altars, because this is like where I pray, basically. This is where I connect to my source. This is, or do cord cuttings, and or sometimes I have, very, very rarely anymore, but sometimes I actually have private sessions, not yoga, but healing sessions in here. So energy healing is a little bit different depending on your source or depending on your modality. But usually when you've exhausted the modern medicine and the physical aspect to healing self, you tend to start to go into the subtler realms of the emotional and then the soul essences, because at some point the physical, it can only take you so far. So then in your awareness, because you've healed quite a lot already, you start to go into again, multidimensionality and etheria, because it's almost like you have to retrieve parts of your soul to then bring your physicality up to the next level, and then you start to maintain and look after yourself and a little bit of a different way. So, i.e., ritual, ceremony, deep, divine light healing through relaxation. So I'm just gonna basically show you guys like a few of the key pieces. Where my camera is right now is like on a yoga mat. And I have my journal, and the journal is just kind of like always there. It's with me when I'm traveling. It's with me when I'm working. It's just always there to take notes. So straight up, if I'm like going into proper ritual vibrashe, I'll usually light a candle or 2 or 3. It's sort of symbolic of setting an intention and being like, all right, mind, body, universal flow is like getting really grounded and like inwardly like, imagine it like in the movies, like casting spells and da-da-da, like you kind of, and I'm not talking mumbo jumbo witchcraft, we're talking about energetic manifestation here, people. It is a real thing. It's just humanity has gone so long having forgotten that, and because of the way we were programmed in that survival mode, we're still really reactive. Like, no! Like, I could never be the creator of this horrible place. And yet, we're not even looking at ourselves, right? We're not looking at the amount we complain, the amount we moan, the amount, and we all do this, right? The amount we look at this world like, fucking shitty world, greedy motherfuckers, da-da-da. We bitch and moan all the time, right? And so, all we can do is continue to practice being better people, and that just comes through a lot of love and compassion, straight up, and this kind of stuff. So usually every new moon or full moon, or maybe just once a month, or sometimes even have you ever heard of the book Creative Vision? Yeah, that rings a bell. Hi, Matthew. So yeah, I don't necessarily do new moon ceremonies every single month. I just do them, for some reason I feel like there's certain significant moons that, and or just, you know, like energy time. Thank you, Matthew. And so I tend to like, yeah, it's all intuitively guided. That's all I can say. Like, energetically, sometimes we're too busy. We can't necessarily sit down and quiet and do actual ritual. But clearly, on my birthday, for this new moon in April, which is like the birthday year in my birthday month, so it's like hella birth mode. Pretty sure my own manifestation baby has been going through the birth canal, and I've just been here going, ah, ah. But what is that expression? It's actually from Friends. When Rachel's like, but not before I saw little baby Joe crowning away. I'm like, there's currently a manifestation crowning in my vagina. And you're gonna witness the birth of it, you guys. Oh my God, like, shish. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your birthday love, like, massive. So I'm sharing with you guys, like, my altar, my sacred space. Every space is sacred, but again, this is where I'm like, I get serious about the rituals and manifestation and stuff. And like I said, this kind of setup has changed a little bit over the years. So I'm gonna just show you like a few key pieces here, which might res with like a few of you as well. And I've got incense. Incense are lovely. Not everybody likes them though. So I'm gonna light some incense, and I'm setting the stage, because when I finish here, you guys, what I'm gonna do is basically go into ceremony, which would just be more focused, more inwardly focused, and highly intentional. So there's like a few key pieces, which I reckon this resonates with a lot of us. So what we're working on intentionally, energetically, is bringing in, like, anchoring in the legit self-love. Like, so when we intend, it's like, I imagine my happiest life. I imagine the people that I love. I imagine the environments that I'm in. I imagine always having more than enough, you know, never struggling, never strife, no more lack, no more fear, no more burden, right? So invoke the solution energy, and I invoke the joy, bliss, love energy that I can take there, and again, then set the intention, throw it out. Anything that comes up that is in a malalignment or distortion to that original invocation of high vibrational energy, I can let it move out of me. I can let it come up and go and come up and go. And that's essentially been the experience that we've been anchoring this. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. No. And so, yeah, and so we can better anchor it. The ritual, this is why the church uses ritual, and this is why we're uncovering the deep state satanic ritual abuse, is that we can use ritual. There's just random, I know it seems so bizarre, right? But there's people that use these invocation and ritual to dominate other versus invoking the truth from within. However, what we're discovering as beings is that this inner truth is actually quite an emotionally profound and painful thing. So most people don't endeavor it, apparently, so far. So, okay, incense. Oh, God, I'm already loving. And I don't know if you guys, like, ever travel. Hi, from New Zealand. I just saw you there. I got really, really turned on to, I was kind of not much of an incense. I was a lot more teetotal, straight edge, like late teens. I'd be like, ew, what are those incense smells? Plus, I'd never had Indian food, like, blah, blah. Anywho, once I traveled to India, I spent 3 months in India, and you guys know I travel to Indonesia regularly. In these countries around Southeast Asia and Asia, they burn incense everywhere, right? They burn incense everywhere, so you kind of get used to it, and then I don't know. It's like I never liked olives until I went to Greece. I traveled to Greece when I was 21, and the rest is history. Ever since I was like, well, I'm not going to come to Greece and not try olives, because I never liked olives as a kid. And then I try the olives, totally dig on them, and I'm like, oh, wow, I actually like olives. So similarly, never really liked incense. Go to India, go to Indonesia, fucking love them. I love them. They're fucking great, you guys. So that's like, so burning incense is, I'm setting the stage, right? I'm getting my altar set up. Plus you got the moon, the stars, the sun, all these symbology, all this symbology here, right? And then I have, this is just for actually client work, and I'll sometimes bring these to like yoga sessions and stuff, because it's nice to go. It's nice after a sesh, basically, to just gently kind of wake people up from Shavasana. Now, you guys know my shopping steez as well. I'll be straight. I got this, my lovely yoga. I don't know, can you see her? Olive vegan burger, it's the bomb. Oh yeah, ooh, that smells, my mouth's a little bit watery thinking about the olive vegan burger. So my little meditation chica, there, that's a gift. That's a gift from my mom, which is beautiful. And weirdly, I have one like this, and then there's another very similar one, from my other mom, my stepmom. Okay, and then this is a beautiful selenite one. Boo boo. Boo boo. Yeah. So be careful with selenite, because they can apparently it can dissolve with wetness, and my hands get sweaty. So like yeah, selenite, you can see it. Selenite kind of crumbles, and splinter, yeah, it crumbles off. So just be aware. But this is gorgeous. I got this and this, and then another one of my favorite quartz crystals that I do a lot of meditation with. I got these from a really, really cool shop in San Francisco back in very end of 2014. I did a road trip from Ontario through the United States up to Vancouver, and then back down through the United States, and we did a 3-day stopgap in San Francisco. And I went into this area straight up to buy some marijuana. But it was this area, I think it was called like the Hague or the Hague or something. So it's like every city has like one of the kind of Soho, bohemian kind of, you know, off the beaten track, but like the place to go to for hippie shops and like picking up pot and stuff like that. So it's like, So yeah, I found this incredible, I'm pretty sure it had like a huge ganache on the front, and this whole strip of rows were like really amazing vintage shops, super cool vegan cafes, and of course we got our crystals, right? So this has been with me for almost 5 years now, or over 4 years now, and it is just, I meditate with it quite a lot actually. And these are all intuitive shares, by the way, so like don't like you, but this is how I roll, you guys. This is the straight up compassion through individuation. This is why we're not any longer, we can't just go, well, I read a book once, or my so-and-so told me, like, fucking get to know yourself and then tell me what to do. So, and then ultimately, the more we get to know the self, the less we want to tell other people what to do, because it just doesn't fucking work. So sometimes if I have stuff going on in my center, I'll actually like, you see I'm lining the selenite behind me, or I'm actually like putting it right in front of me like so, and I'll kind of like get it kind of right centered, and then hello meditation across the niche. So there. there, and then this is just a whole bunch of crystals. This I don't thank you, I don't like, this is not like special, but like essentially, and this is being straight up as well. So these are probably crystals that I've acquired over the years, but they're also crystals I would have probably been given by people and or received via, oopsie daisy, workshops like this. This is a gift that somebody brought back from Hawaii. It's like that, you know, after lava goes to ash or whatever or something, or there's like black beaches. I'm not sure what I'm talking about, but like that's from there. And I'm no crystal guru. I just like them, and so I have them, you know. Some of them I do like though, like quartz is a huge, obsidian. I think that's obsidian. Actually, thanks for the reminder, Matthew, because I got guided to obsidian. Obsidian? This is obsidian. Oh wait, so is the stuff from the volcano also obsidian? Is that what you're saying to me? But then I would have to do a lot more research because I'm not 100% sure. But thanks for the reminder about the obsidian, yo, because I'm sure molten lava from Mount Pelee in Hawaii. Got you. And so that's obsidian. Shit, I didn't know that. Okay, cool. But yeah, thank you, because now I'm just reminded I actually do have obsidian, and it's meant to be a really good color for one of the signs that I am, maybe Capricorn or something like that. Alright, okay, and then you can see I've got on display, I've actually got like, those are 3 rose quartz, like the classics I really like, you know, rose quartz, the selenite I showed, the clear quartz, and there's another one that I love, the purple one. Amethyst, and I'm pretty sure the quartz, the amethyst and stuff are pretty powerful healing stones. This love sign, can you guys see the little, like, there's a little wooden love sign. I found that at a charity shop locally, and I think that's just the vibrashe. And you often find that just intuitive, like shopping, you find all the stuff you're looking for to kind of really create the space that you're desiring to create. And I do believe this, and I often have sometimes like it's more on the level of the kind of like super executive, like serious people. But it's even the executive serious people that make any number of excuses to not quieten the mind, to not do this work. And I'm like, yeah, but if you, oh no, I'm not meditating, or I'm like, yeah, but have you built the space? If you haven't built the space, then it's not going to call to you, and then you're just going to stay in your routine. Often, that's what inspired action is awfully doing. Oh my God, and this is where one of you mentioned angular momentum. Angular momentum has a binary thing where you can go in one direction and build momentum, but there's actually a zigzagging type of momentum, which is also par for the course in contrast, which would be representative of a cycle. Sorry guys, I just totally rambled on and sidetracked. Okay, let's get to it. As far as, I'm just gonna kind of really quickly go over like what I would do. So I'd probably sit here, meditate for however long I meditate. And that meditation is to get into this really kind of clear void. I kind of imagine just total infinite black void and like a little droplet of water going blink. That's the kind of clarity I want to feel. That's the kind of presence I want to feel. And it's all right there with me. So then I'd bring in any energies that I'm releasing, any past patternings, any pain, any unforgiveness, any grievance, any of that, right? And I just completely, it's all mind world, right? Like this is the point of our creative energy vortex, is that we keep having come back that you are the conscious creator of your own reality. So really in our meditation intentional spaces, we expand our entire vortexual energy to be that with all that is. And so nothing outside of us really has power over us. We create that, right, from within. And then again with people, it's like, they'll be like, oh, well, it's hogwash, it doesn't work. But then they're not creating the space for themselves to actually move mountains or manifest or what have you. And a lot of us have been on the manifestation path for a while, but there's a collective agreement with the broader awakening that we're all experiencing. And so it's not necessarily about having these direct manifestations. It's about understanding the vortexual anchoring and grounding of how to manifest in truth, not manifesting via the archon grid. That there's a difference. And that's why a lot of people are bouncing out of so-called manifestation and they're proclaiming Christianity, because they're not anchored in their center of truth yet. They're still seeking outside of themselves, whether they're seeking the teachings of the law of attraction or they're seeking the teachings of Jesus Christ. They're still seeking something external. So the truth, and this doesn't have to look like this, it can look like anything, but in essence, this is the altar, like the altar of God. The altar of God is actually inside my own heart. So my heart is what I'm truly connected to. This is just symbolic. This is just representative of my practice, of my lifestyle, right? Oh, by the way, those are my own paintings. That's right. I take my hand to canvas sometimes. They're not particularly skillful, but they're colorful, and that's what I like. So, and I do love that a bit about intuitive painting. It's like, it doesn't have to be fucking pretty, you guys. It doesn't have to look good. It's just you going, color, ray, and like shape, sweet. And then it's like super fun. Hey, Kurt Mill, how are you, my friend? So, yeah. Okay, so this, you guys know what this is, right? Yes, I know. And actually I have a lot of divine masculine coming around as well, hence where I'm like finally getting into the space where I'm like truly sovereign and happy on my own, versus like, where's my nurturing armor? He's gonna come and save me from myself. But then I realized guys have the same programming, right? Aiming to finish a project due tomorrow. Yes, Kurt, we both got big projects that we're completing today, and for you tomorrow. I'm completing mine tomorrow, or blah. I'm gonna be, right when I finish doing this share with you guys, I'm gonna be getting back to my Wix website editor, and I'm gonna be uploading a PDF document, uploading all the written material, making sure the mobile stuff looks good for you guys. And then I've just had a friend basically look over and check the links. But once I get to this point of completion, it's like, well, I'm done. I'm ready to go. And especially for an Aries, I'm like crazy proud of myself. I never imagined myself somebody that would be able to like finish a book and publish it and like finish these courses. I'm like, holy shit, I'm surprising myself. And here's the thing about the creative flow, straight up on an intellectual like progress achievement level, I have no idea how I've done any of this. I just kept taking leaps and kind of showing up where the breadcrumb trails were leading, but like looking back over the last 3 years, I'm like, what the fuck, man? How did I actually do that? I'm not sure. It just came through me. I just didn't deny the creative channel, nor did I let circumstances hold me back or make me frightened of more creation. You know, I didn't, just because I didn't manifest millions right after publishing the book, it didn't mean I stopped in that creative essence. The creative essence has continued to guide me. Now we've got 3 courses down the road of Be the Change, and it's like, holy shazbot. Ultra love is really taking over my life. How wonderful. And so you have sage. So sage is from like native Aboriginal, much more sacred connected cultures, and sage is an actual, I want to say like antibacterial. Showing up with intention creates momentum. Yes, but in terms of how I'm feeling, calm but anxious too, waiting for the first domino collapse of our society. Yeah, right. It might be that some of us in our personal lives have some dominoes collapse though as well. I don't need to go into detail and everything is okay, but I had like a potential domino in the form of my father. Go through stuff, which you know, when someone collapses, there's like a whole bunch of stuff that comes up in our families, in ourself, in our memories, and so fortunately when the domino survives the collapse, you're like, whew. But yeah, it stirs stuff up, right? So the macro micro shit is definitely on. A lot of us are probably going to be having to make some pretty big decisions about what we want and who we want in our lives and what kind of energy we want and all of that, right? So actually today, personally for me, I've been meaning to do this for a while, but this is the day. So all you do with the sage is get it lit, and I'm not going to light it massive, but you see how it's already, can you see that, you guys? It's already creating, oh, I love the smell of it as well. Some of you might not like these things. So I was sort of saying that sage is known in Native American terms and increasingly in our witchy craft circles, is that it kind of, you could see it as like an air cleaner. So like, and when we know there's frequencies and energy all around us, if say we've just had a fight, or say like, for example, I've not saged my apartment over these last 3 months, and I've been through so much in this space in these last 3 months. So today, on this new moon, this black void day, I'll clean my space. I'll start fresh. And of course, you guys know me, I'm a pretty good clear out. I've gone through and over these last few months, I've gotten rid of some old clothes, and I've gotten rid of some pieces of furniture or some pillows or things that I just don't need that feel like clutter, right? And then perhaps, Matthew, but you have choices now too. Be as conscious and awake as you can, whenever the collapses, it will disrupt our lives. Yes. Yes. Well, and here's the thing, Kermil, what you just said, yes, but it already is. And this is where we have to address and look at that. Like, how are we living our lives? Because it's how, I would say it's the level, it's the degree to which we're living out of our alignment, out of integrity, out of our truth, that when these collapses happening, depending on how far out of alignment we are, and when the collapse happens, it's going to be that much worse. If we're already vibrating in alignment with our pure heart's love flow, if we're already practicing these things and compassion and and doing an earnest good work, then the way I see it is that we're the channeling pioneers. We're the ones that everyone out of alignment going, ah, collapse. We can be like, calm down, you guys. And that is something that got me, as far as like, yeah, that's what's really coming out, are these like our what was it that somebody said something and then it triggered off these different thoughts about, oh, I had to go to the post office to drop something off, and you guys know, like, I'm such a loner. Like, I live in this small town, and I'm sure a few of the like regular town folk are just like, what's up with that girl? Anyway, so I'm coming out of the post office yesterday, and there's like 2 moms, and one had the pram. I don't know if they were 2 moms, apologies for making that assumption, but 2 women, probably actually younger than me, like late 20s, early 30s. One of them had the baby stroller, right? And as I was walking by, I caught just this one chunk of the conversation they were having. And one of the women just said, oh, I know, it's terrifying, isn't it? And that really struck me. I thought, what's terrifying? And then I kind of got on like that, and I'm like, God, are we even aware of the language you use? Like, here we are in our privileged societies, in our relatively peaceful world of the UK, of Britain, the large majority of people actually having jobs and houses and spouses and families and You know, not having to worry, and that this is something I could feel the kind of that slight edge of privilege. And again, it's a lack of awareness, but this is something, oh, I know it's terrifying. No, it's fucking not. You know, like whatever it is, I can tell, for one, that your energy isn't terrifying. You're just, oh, I know, like it's terrifying. No, it's fucking not. And for us to even claim that, oh no, I might not have a salary next month, or oh no, like the government hasn't been able to pay my bills. Like most of us have family and friends and support networks, and we live in a culture where we have freedom to healthcare and freedom to travel and freedom for all of these things, and yet we sit around in our little fucking petty gossip groups and go, I know, isn't it terrifying? No, it's fucking not. Oh, look, oh, oops, what just happened? MJ went on a rant. But and here's the thing, you guys, and this is where I think people misinterpret me, is that I'm not ranting at those people. They're perfectly fine humans. But in my own awareness, I'm ranting on about my own, like, yeah, I need to be even more, like, what words am I using? What am I really casting into the field? Because a lot of us in these privileged little communities, we say things that just are not fucking true. And I think, my God, we sit around in our privileged communities being like, oh, I know, it's terrifying. Oh no, we're so scared. But we're not. We're like lying to each other and to ourselves when actually we could be much more active, positive citizens of a world where a lot of people could use our love. Yeah, Jasmine, by default, absolutely. And that's why non-judgment all the way. And I always come back into my heart to make sure that I'm not like dumping on people for their lack of awareness, and yet continually holding myself accountable, right? Bruce, yeah, I know that. I know that, my friend. YouTube has a thing, it's like eligibility markers. So yeah, going live, I don't remember having to need, I've been going live before I had 1,000 followers or subscribers. Anywho, so I gotta say, it's smelling really good in here. It's really nice. This is an example of an altar. There's like loads out there. This is particularly probably good for women, but men, you guys would have your own spicy style, right? Your own, and this is something I'm moving into with New Paradigm, even conscious relationship. I think it's really important for men and women to have their own space, you know, and I'm talking the sacred space. Even I had clients who maybe had limit, you know, in the UK, people can actually like have incredible amounts of money but still not have a huge amount of space. For example, some of my London clients. But I try to make the point of like, it's the same, it's similar but different. Like, I can't meditate. Well, yeah, if you force yourself to think you have to meditate for 20 minutes, otherwise it's futile. But a 20-minute window is different than just a 2-minute window. So make it simple on ourselves. Similarly, okay, not all of us have a whole loft to make into their sacred spiritual space practice, but like, but most of us have a little space beside the bed, for example. Most of us have a little space, and this is kind of out there, but I actually have a client who does this, a closet. Like, you might even be able to make a little space in a closet that you have for, it's just yours. It's just, you've got your little Buddha there, or you've got your little candle there, you know what I mean? So like, we all usually have enough space. We're just defaulted into making excuses, right? I like floral scents. Oh, nice one, Matthew. I just finished the DIY body scrub and the DIY florals and scents and smells for vegan love. I just edited and recorded those like a couple days ago. And the essential oil I've been using for a couple months now is rose. Rose is such a beautiful, and flowers, they have such beautiful properties in them as well, as far as like invoking certain feelings and memories, and just invigorating. Like things like lavender can be really soothing. Things like lemongrass can be quite like invigorating. I personally love a bit of tea, the kind of more minty eucalyptics, tea tree, and peppermint, especially if you're quite headstrong like me or a bit of a thinker. Putting a bit of peppermint on the third eye or on the forehead can actually really help with that. So when I do a sage, I will have probably meditated. I will have charged my crystals and or also imprinted them. So I will charge them with a certain intentional energy. And then I wouldn't just do here. So I would probably like do stuff like this where I'm kind of energetically and intentionally using the sage to clear all cords, attachments, entities, anything, any unconscious programs that I've got running. La 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 la, blah, 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 blah. And then I wouldn't stop there. So I would do like soles of the feet, hands, lower back, perineum, asshole, and then crown. So I would wait until I kind of get the cue of the feeling of there, now I'm done. And then I would proceed to intentionally go around the whole apartment and actually sage. I'm not actually doing it now, but like I would actually sage the whole area intentionally. So I do this whole room, go downstairs, do my bathroom, do my bedroom. You guys, you know where I share from like almost every day. My bedroom definitely needs a sage. There's been a lot of dynamic energy in there. A lot of like, ah! Or frustration when edits don't work the way I want them to. So there, I'm basically saging. I sage around, I sage the whole thing. So I clear it all out. Now I'd probably actually do this. The last thing I'm going to share with you is what I would do like after meditation, and then I would like pray or like kind of sit with. These are all my things that I'm releasing and invoking. And like they're very similar. Whenever I do these little ceremonies, these things there's always a similar theme, you know, release fear, invite more love, or, you know, let go of toxic patterns, or clear out this, or victimhood consciousness, whatever it is, right? We're all always clearing stuff anyway. So finally, what I've got here, and this is often, so say we're now at new moon, and say I'm getting in a habit of doing these ceremonies mostly on the new moon. So the whole cycle, right, until the next new moon, the whole cycle, there will be different points along the cycle where I suddenly get like, so what's coming next? April manifestation, right? So then I actually have here April's manifestations. So I'll bring along anything that like is still yet to make manifest from March or from previous months. Then I'm still invoking, I'm still charging, I'm still asking, I'm going, that's bringing in, that's coming in, right? My monthly income, my physical appearance, and then also what usually goes along with us manifesting certain things are us releasing certain things, releasing toxic situations, releasing toxic people, releasing past shittiness or whatever, right? Thanks, Pepe. Have a beautiful day, my friend. So yeah, so I've written them, so I've written them all down. And then I can like have a moment just to be with them. And here's like a little nugget. I want to be really thankful for all of my pain and suffering and distortion and the people who have been mean to me. Like I can actually pull all of that in and be like, I'm so thankful. Like I'm so thankful for all my body's weird patterns that have taught me. I'm so thankful for the people who have shat on me just to be like, to make me stronger. So I integrate all of that to really like embrace the fullness of me, and then do a little visualization or imagination of my future that I'm intending to create, and then get all feeling good. You know, I think sometimes of things like, at some point along the way, I quite would like to have a cat or a dog like in my home environment. At some point along the line, you know, I quite would like a travel van or any of these things. And so I imagine myself in that environment with the dog, with the man, with the like all gooey hot lavabush, lots of money flowing in and out, lots of wonderful people just like you guys. So my little like 15-minute ritual share, of course, has turned into an hour-long chit-chat. But finally, what I would do once I've like felt it, intended it, felt it leave me, felt it drop into me, burn it and let it go. Burn it and let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And then, so yeah, there, I've let go of the intention. I might light a candle, do some more meditation, see more of it coming in. And then I would do the sage. And or not in any particular order, but just saging everywhere so that the whole environment, it's like given the baby a wash after it's been born, right? It's like we've just given birth. Let's clean it up and make the space really, really fresh and beautiful and clean. And FYI, what I'm just wanting to share straight up, you guys, is in my Spirituality Simplified course, I do go into more depth about this stuff. So I talk about, well, I talk about cosmic origins, but there's a whole week's section that just talks about space and yeah, the space that we live in and how we treat our space and how we vibrate with our space and how it can make such a difference in our clarity and in our feel goodness and our, yeah, and that is real. And so actually, at any given time, I swear to God, at least one of my clients at any given time is having a clear out. And then they're like, hey, I know, I'm still working on that cupboard, or I'm still working on that drawer, or I'm still, you know, and so people get the efficacy of it, but we all move at our own, you know, at our own pace, basically. And this is why we are all who we are, is like, clear outs and cleanups and stuff were never a challenge, because I just always did it. Like, ever since I can remember as a child, I couldn't even, you know how like kids are messy? I was just never even a messy kid. I would like lay my clothes out the night before. I was a kid who'd like, I'd never just throw my shit on the floor. I'd like fold it up, put it neatly back. As it turns out, all these years later, we'd find that these sort of clean up as you go patternings can actually be very effective ways to keep ourselves clean, to keep ourselves in that kind of alignment flow. So dropping in and anchoring into our center first, so that the center from within is what keeps us in balance. We don't rely on the external circumstances to keep us in balance. We drive the balance from within the central vortex. Okay, you guys. That's it. That's it. Kurt Mill, fully agree. I fully agree. And I do, well, and I'd say this is more to do with like, so what you're saying, and that is really relevant, actually. Thank you for sharing that as I close. I gotta say one thing that I'm really intending, thank you guys, oh, getting a little emotion, it's my 37th birthday, and like, I have these points of review where I can look back at my life and be like, gosh, there's been a lot of suffering, you know, like, there's been a lot of pain, there's been a lot of like, why are things the way they are, and why are and like things have not turned out how I expected them to. But the beautiful thing is that I can honestly say things are getting better, and you guys are a big part of that. Yes, Kurt Mill, 5 days, hey, and on the 10th then. Katie Finch, she's another Team Love member. She's April 8th. My mom, Frances Sullivan, who's also the editor for Team Love, she's a copy editor. She is April 3rd. So there's just like a whole bunch of us who are heading into birthday season. And yeah, so what you said about getting dirty, I'm with you. And I was like, even as a little girl, as a little kid who put her clothes out, my God, if I had a fall or if I got dirty, it was like, like the fear of whatever would be stricken me, and I would have a horrible day. It would ruin everything, right? And like, so a 37-year-old adult who's had this weird flip reversal of like return to innocence, and I can actually finally say, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on having fun for the rest of my life, because the truth shall set you free. And I'm like, the truth is inside, and it takes maybe a little outworking to really kind of get to know that center, but once you're there, and there's no turning back, and it's legit, we know it, we feel it. And we got some epic rides ahead of us for sure. Dirt unfun. But I'm with all of you there as far as like, by the way, I'm going to go back over the video and check your guys's. I know that I've missed some comments here this morning. But I am choosing to be a joyful expression of this life, and not to be in denial, or not to be unaware of the pain and suffering that is not just existent on this planet, but is propagated. And so in alignment with the force that I am, it is my highest joy and vision that we can raise one another up so that we're no longer enslaved by corrupted forces and that we are free people on this planet. And I truly believe that we have the power to vision it and the power to be it as well. Yeah, right, Kurt? Exactly. And like, that's the difference, is that I'm not looking for anyone else to make life fun for me. I just know that I'm allowed. And that's some of the biggest step of like, oh, got some emotion coming. Exactly, dude. This is the thing about, like, that's what's propagated. That's why the system's gotta go. Because it's like, it propagates misery and sin and like enslavement and greed. It propagates it. It basically imprints us with like, you're greedy sinners. So you better give your, you know, and all of that is changing. It's changing. And I can feel it. I can feel it because I have spent the last fucking 20 years peeling back veil after veil after veil after veil, and the original truth was still the same fucking truth. It just took me that long to just finally go, you know what? Fuck all y'all. Stop telling me what to do and just do what you want to do, you know? As a young, trying to be a good girl in this world, yeah, no. I don't want to be good for a world that is insane. I just want to be good for myself because it's all there, it's all me anyway, right? So you guys, I'm gonna charge my obsidian. By the way, thank you for all of your like input today. I really appreciate it, and I hope that was useful to you. I gather that for some of you it was, and also thank you for your feedback about my mini little yoga session bed yesterday. Some of you actually like reached out, like not just commenting, you actually like emailed and went out of your way to thank me, and that I'm incredibly thankful for. So, happy new moon, you guys. The body is the vehicle, the mind keeps going, the consciousness is less and less. End of life, body the vehicle. Interesting insights, right? Anywho, you guys, off I go. Everybody, Bruce, Kurt, Jasmine, Mike, Scott, all of you guys, I love you so much. Pepe, I feel like, yeah, Matthew, and who was here? Amit was here earlier, I feel like, as well. So you guys, and I feel like maybe Aphrodite was here at one point. Eddie, you guys are wonderful. Happy new moon energies. I'm wishing you the best and mostest beautiful day. Hey, oh yeah, go to Ulta Love and subscribe. I'm launching Ulta Vegan Love today. So even if you don't want to buy the whole course, I'd really appreciate if you go and buy even just 1 week. It's £22 for 1 week, and you get to see the kind of, the kind of colorful expression that is the Vegan Love 8-week online course. The third of 4 of our Be the Change online course series. This is exciting, you guys. I'm really nearing the end of quite an epic, divinely guided project for All to Love. So thank you for your support. You have no idea how much it means to me. I hope that all this like spiritual stuff that we do here, I hope it is useful to you. I hope it is practical for you, and I hope that it offers you benefit in your life. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go finish the Ulta Love course, or Ulta Vegan Love, and then I'm gonna launch it, and then guess what? I'm gonna go have lunch with my friend. Because some of my friends have got me little birthday presents, and I'm gonna go take them. And this is me offering myself to you guys. Because that's kind of what love is. Love is just us like offering her. You know, not for you to abuse me, but to have mutual respect, love, vibrashe, right? I love you guys. I'm so looking forward to just seeing how it all unfolds with you guys. And because I trust you guys. I trust you, and I have faith in you. We got this. We can do this. Oh yeah, thanks for the reminder, Scott. Virtual hug. Virtual hug. Major hot love vibrashe. Dave Mahoney, nice to